Have you ever felt trapped in your own mind, where your thoughts run wild, controlling you instead of the other way around? Imagine a life where your thoughts no longer dictate your emotions or actions, where you become the master, not the prisoner of your mind. Today, we're going to unlock that secret together, using powerful Buddhist principles and practical techniques that have transformed lives for centuries. In this video, I'll share 22 practical tips that blend ancient wisdom with real-world applications to help you calm your racing thoughts and reclaim your inner peace. But that's not all. You'll hear stories of people just like you, individuals who broke free from mental chaos and discovered the quiet power of mindful living. So stick with me, because by the end, you'll not only know how to stop your thoughts from controlling you, but you'll have tools to create a life full of clarity, purpose, and peace. Section 1: Understanding the Mind, the Storm Within. The mind is like a restless sea. On calm days, its surface is smooth, reflecting the world with perfect clarity. But when the winds of thoughts and emotions rage, the sea churns violently, and all clarity is lost. This is where most of us find ourselves, tossed about by waves of overthinking, worries, and distractions. In Buddhism, the mind is often compared to a monkey mind, constantly jumping from one thought to another, restless and unfocused. This chaos is the root of stress, anxiety, and emotional suffering. But here's the good news: your mind can be trained. Imagine you are in a quiet room, and a radio is playing non-stop static. At first, you don't notice it, but the noise wears you down. Thoughts work the same way. They create mental static that overwhelms you. The first step to mastering your thoughts is becoming aware of this noise. The power of awareness. In Buddhist practice, awareness is the foundation for transforming the mind. Without awareness, your thoughts control you. With awareness, you regain control. Think of awareness as turning on a light in a dark room. It doesn't erase the mess inside, but it allows you to see it clearly and start cleaning. Practical tip 1: Start with mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness meditation is like pressing pause on the chaos. It allows you to observe your thoughts without being swept away by them. How to practice. 1. Find a quiet spot, sit comfortably. You don't need a perfect setup, just a chair or a cushion in a calm space. 2. Focus on your breath, close your eyes and pay attention to your breathing. Notice the sensation of air moving in and out. 3. Observe your thoughts, as thoughts arise, and they will, don't fight them. Simply notice them, as if watching clouds drift by. 4. Gently return to your breath. Each time your mind wanders, guide it back to your breath without judgment. A story of transformation. Let me share the story of Sarah, a busy entrepreneur who felt like a prisoner of her own mind. Her days were filled with racing thoughts, deadlines, responsibilities, and fears of failure. She described her mind as a tornado, spinning endlessly. One day, a friend introduced her to mindfulness meditation. Skeptical at first, Sarah started practicing for just 10 minutes a day. She sat in her living room, focusing on her breath. At first, her thoughts overwhelmed her, but she stuck with it. Over time, something magical happened. She began to see her thoughts instead of being consumed by them. It was like stepping outside of a storm, Sarah said. I couldn't stop the winds, but I could watch them from a safe place. Within a few months, Sarah noticed a profound change. She felt calmer, clearer, and more in control. Tasks that once overwhelmed her became manageable, and her relationships improved because she was no longer reacting impulsively to stress. The takeaway. Mindfulness meditation isn't about silencing your thoughts, it's about changing your relationship with them. By becoming aware, you realize that you are not your thoughts, you are the observer of your thoughts. This simple shift can transform your life, giving you the power to act intentionally instead of reacting emotionally. Action step for you. Set aside 5 minutes today to practice mindfulness meditation. Start small, and remember, progress is made through consistency, not perfection. Section 2: detaching from negative thoughts, the art of letting go. You cannot stop the birds of worry from flying over your head, but you can prevent them from building a nest in your hair. Ancient proverb. One of the most profound lessons in Buddhism is understanding that thoughts are not facts. They are like clouds, impermanent and constantly shifting. Yet, most of us cling to our negative thoughts as if they define who we are. Thoughts of failure, guilt, or fear become anchors that weigh us down, robbing us of peace. Why do we hold on? The human mind has a tendency called negativity bias. It's a survival instinct. Our ancestors had to focus on dangers to stay alive. But in modern life, this bias makes us fixate on what's wrong, replaying past mistakes or fearing what might go wrong in the future. Letting go doesn't mean ignoring or suppressing thoughts. It means recognizing them for what they are, temporary mental events. When you learn to detach, you free yourself from their grip. Practical tip 2, label your thoughts. Buddhist teachings encourage a simple practice to help you detach, labeling your thoughts. When a thought arises, give it a name: worry, fear, anger, or judgment. By labeling, you create distance between yourself and the thought. How to practice. 1. Pause and observe. When a negative thought appears, stop and take a breath. 2. Label it. Silently say to yourself, "This is worry," or "This is fear." 3. Let it pass, don't fight the thought. Simply observe it, label it, and let it drift away like a cloud. Over time, this practice rewires your brain. You stop identifying with every thought, and instead, you see them as passing visitors. A story of freedom. Let's meet Michael, a young professional who struggled with self-doubt. Every day, his mind bombarded him with thoughts like, "I'm not good enough," and "I'll never succeed." These thoughts paralyzed him. No matter how hard he worked, he felt trapped in a cycle of self-criticism. Desperate for change, Michael began practicing the art of labeling his thoughts. At first, it felt strange. Whenever a self-critical thought appeared, he would pause and silently say, "This is judgment." Instead of getting tangled in it, he let the thought float by. Something remarkable happened. Michael realized that his thoughts didn't control him. By labeling them, he saw how repetitive and untrue they often were. It was like watching traffic from the side of the road, Michael explained. Before, I felt like I was standing in the middle of the street, getting hit by every car. Now I just watched them pass. Within weeks, Michael's confidence grew. The same thoughts would appear, but they no longer consumed him. By letting go, he made space for calm and clarity. The takeaway. Your thoughts only have power if you hold on to them. By labeling your thoughts and letting them pass, you reclaim control over your mind. Remember, you are not your thoughts, you are the space in which thoughts appear and disappear. Action step for you. The next time a negative thought arises, pause and label it. Practice this for a few minutes every day, and notice how your relationship with your mind begins to shift. Section 3, Cultivating Positive Thoughts, the Practice of Gratitude and Compassion. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. The Buddha. As we learn to let go of negative thoughts, the next step is to replace them with thoughts that nourish and uplift us. In Buddhism, two of the most powerful tools for cultivating a positive mind are gratitude and compassion. These practices don't just make us feel better, they rewire our brains, changing how we see ourselves and the world. Why positive thinking matters. Your mind is like a garden. If you don't tend to it, weeds, negative thoughts, will grow on their own. But when you plant seeds of gratitude and compassion, you create a garden full of beauty and joy. Neuroscience now supports what the Buddha taught thousands of years ago. Focusing on the positive strengthens the parts of your brain associated with happiness, empathy, and resilience. By practicing gratitude and compassion regularly, you train your mind to notice the good instead of dwelling on the bad. Practical tip 3, keep a gratitude journal. Gratitude is a simple yet profound practice. It shifts your focus from what's missing in your life to what's already there. How to practice. 1. Set aside 5 minutes, each night, take a few minutes to reflect on your day. 2. Write down 3 things you're grateful for, these can be big or small, good health, a kind word, or a beautiful sunset. 3. Feel the gratitude, as you write, pause and truly feel thankful. Why it works. By actively looking for the good, you train your brain to see more positivity in your life. Over time, this habit rewires your thinking, helping you stay grounded and optimistic. Practical tip 4. Practice compassion through loving-kindness meditation. Buddhism teaches that compassion, both for yourself and others, frees you from anger, resentment, and self-judgment. One of the most transformative practices for cultivating compassion is metta bhavana, or loving-kindness meditation. How to practice. 1. Find a quiet space, sit comfortably and close your eyes. 2. Start with yourself, silently repeat the phrases. Oh, may I be happy. Oh, may I be healthy. Oh, may I live with ease. 3. Extend to others. Next, bring to mind a loved one, a neutral person, and even someone you find difficult. Send them the same wishes. Oh, may you be happy. Oh, may you be healthy. Oh, may you live with ease. 4. Feel the warmth, allow yourself to feel a sense of kindness and connection. Practicing loving kindness reduces negative emotions and cultivates a sense of peace. When you send love to others, you heal yourself. A story of transformation. Consider Sarah, a mother of 2 who often felt overwhelmed by life's challenges. Between work stress and family responsibilities, her mind constantly raced with thoughts like, I'm failing as a parent, and I can't handle this. At the suggestion of a friend, Sarah started a nightly gratitude journal. At first, it felt awkward. On bad days, all she could write was, I'm grateful for my warm bed. But slowly, her perspective shifted. She began noticing small joys, a smile from her child, a hot cup of tea, the support of her friends. Sarah also embraced loving-kindness meditation. Every morning, she spent 5 minutes sending kind wishes to herself and others. Over time, her heart softened. She forgave herself for not being perfect and found compassion for those who once frustrated her. Gratitude and compassion didn't change my circumstances, Sarah said, but they changed how I experienced life. I feel calmer, lighter, and more connected. The takeaway. Gratitude and compassion are like sunlight and water for the mind. They help your thoughts grow in a direction that supports your well-being. By practicing these simple habits, you train yourself to see life's beauty, even during difficult times. Action step for you. Tonight, take 5 minutes to write down 3 things you're grateful for. Tomorrow morning, practice loving-kindness meditation, starting with yourself. Notice how your heart and mind feel afterward. Section 4, The Power of Mindfulness, Staying Present in the Moment. Do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment. The Buddha. In our fast-paced world, we often get lost in thoughts about the past or the future. This mental drift creates anxiety and stress, as we worry about what's already happened or what might happen. But mindfulness, a core Buddhist practice, teaches us to be fully present in each moment, cultivating peace and clarity amidst the noise of daily life. Why mindfulness matters. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention, on purpose, in the present moment, without judgment. When we practice mindfulness, we free ourselves from the constant barrage of thoughts that distract us from the richness of life right in front of us. Research has shown that mindfulness not only reduces stress but also improves emotional regulation, increases self-awareness, and boosts overall happiness. It's like a reset button for your mind, bringing you back to the present and away from the chaos of overthinking. Practical tip 5, practice mindful breathing. Breathing is something we do all day, yet we rarely notice it. Mindful breathing allows us to reconnect with the present moment, helping us reduce stress and increase focus. How to practice. 1. Find a comfortable spot, sit or lie down somewhere quiet, where you won't be disturbed. 2. Focus on your breath, gently close your eyes and take a deep breath in. Notice the sensation of the air entering your lungs. 3. Notice the exhale, slowly exhale and observe the release of breath. 4. Count your breaths, inhale for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 4. Repeat for a few minutes. Why it works: by focusing on your breath, you anchor yourself in the present. This simple practice can calm your mind, lower stress, and increase your sense of clarity. Practical tip 6, mindful walking. Mindfulness doesn't have to be confined to quiet spaces. You can practice mindfulness in motion, especially during walks. How to practice. 1. Choose a calm place, go for a walk, either outside in nature or around your home. 2. Focus on each step, with each step, notice the sensation of your feet touching the ground. Feel the shift in balance with each movement. 3. Engage your senses, as you walk, notice the sights, sounds, and smells around you. Be fully immersed in the experience of walking without distraction. Why it works: mindful walking connects your body and mind, helping you stay rooted in the moment. It's especially helpful when you feel overwhelmed or disconnected. A story of transformation. Take the case of John, a busy executive who struggled with anxiety. He was always worried about upcoming meetings, deadlines, and future goals, leading to sleepless nights and heightened stress. His mind was constantly racing, and he couldn't seem to find peace. One day, John decided to try mindfulness after hearing about its benefits in a podcast. He began with mindful breathing each morning, then added mindful walking during his lunch breaks. At first, his mind wandered. He'd remember work tasks or think about his family, but he gently brought his focus back to his breath or his steps. Over time, John noticed a significant shift. His anxiety started to lessen, and he felt more present in his conversations and tasks. Instead of reacting impulsively, he was able to pause, breathe, and respond with clarity. He found that mindfulness didn't eliminate his challenges, but it gave him the ability to handle them with calmness and perspective. Mindfulness is like having a tool to manage my mind, John shared. Now, when things get overwhelming, I can step back, take a breath, and reset. It's a game changer. The takeaway. Mindfulness isn't just a technique, it's a way of being. It allows you to embrace the present, release stress, and experience life fully. By practicing mindful breathing and mindful walking, you create space to reset your mind and cultivate peace. Action step for you. Try mindful breathing for 5 minutes today. If you're feeling stressed or distracted, take a short walk, focusing on each step and the world around you. See how it shifts your energy. Section 5, Cultivating Equanimity, the Balance of Mind. Equanimity is the calmness of the mind, unaffected by the ups and downs of life. The Buddha. In a world full of highs and lows, it's easy to get tossed around by life's fluctuations. One moment we're on top of the world, and the next, we're faced with challenges that threaten our peace. The Buddha teaches us to cultivate equanimity, a mental and emotional balance that remains unaffected by these external changes. What is equanimity? Equanimity is a state of inner balance and calmness, where we can navigate both the joys and difficulties of life without being overwhelmed by them. It's the ability to maintain composure, even when circumstances are less than ideal. In Buddhism, equanimity is one of the 4 immeasurables, key virtues that guide us toward a peaceful and compassionate life. It's the opposite of reactivity. Rather than being swept away by anger, fear, or desire, we learn to observe our emotions and reactions without being controlled by them. Why equanimity is vital. Life's uncertainties can lead to stress, frustration, and emotional turmoil. Without equanimity, we're at the mercy of every external event. We may feel overwhelmed by negative emotions or elated by positive ones, but these emotional extremes make it hard to maintain inner peace. Equanimity allows us to stay grounded, regardless of what's happening around us. It doesn't mean we suppress our feelings, but instead, we develop the ability to respond to situations thoughtfully rather than impulsively. It's about embracing all experiences, good and bad, with an open heart and a calm mind. Practical Tip 7: The practice of letting go. Equanimity begins with letting go of attachments, whether they're to outcomes, possessions, or even our own expectations. By holding on to things too tightly, we set ourselves up for disappointment when life inevitably changes. How to practice. 1. Observe attachments. Pay attention to moments when you feel upset or stressed. What are you attached to? Is it a specific outcome, a desire for things to stay the same, or a need for approval? 2. Release the grip. When you notice these attachments, take a deep breath and remind yourself that change is the only constant. Gently let go of the attachment, allowing space for acceptance. 3. Affirm equanimity. As you let go, affirm to yourself, "I am at peace with whatever comes." This simple affirmation can help you remain calm and centered. Why it works: letting go of attachments frees us from unnecessary suffering. When we accept that we cannot control everything, we open ourselves to the peace that comes from simply being present. Practical Tip 8: Embrace impermanence. In Buddhism, one of the core teachings is that everything is impermanent, nothing lasts forever. When we embrace impermanence, we stop resisting change and instead learn to flow with it. How to practice. 1. Reflect on change. Take a moment to reflect on something in your life that's changed recently. It could be a shift in your career, a relationship, or even your thoughts and feelings. 2. Accept the flow. Acknowledge that change is natural and inevitable. Rather than holding on to what was, allow yourself to embrace what is, and trust that things will evolve as they should. 3. Find peace in the moment. Let go of the need to control how things unfold. Trust that the present moment is exactly what it needs to be. Why it works: by accepting impermanence, we reduce the stress that comes from clinging to the past or fearing the future. This mindset fosters equanimity, as we learn to live with the flow of life instead of resisting it. A story of equanimity. Take the example of Emma, a woman who had always struggled with change. Whether it was moving to a new city, changing jobs, or even minor shifts in her daily routine, Emma felt anxiety and fear every time something changed in her life. After learning about equanimity, Emma began practicing letting go of her need for control. When faced with a new job opportunity that required her to move across the country, Emma initially felt overwhelmed. But instead of succumbing to fear, she reminded herself that everything is impermanent. She embraced the idea that change is part of life's natural flow. By accepting the impermanence of her situation, Emma found peace. She moved to the new city with an open heart, trusting that everything would unfold as it was meant to. Rather than resisting the change, she allowed herself to experience the adventure of it all. The takeaway: equanimity is not a passive state but an active practice. By letting go of attachments and embracing impermanence, you can cultivate a calm, balanced mind that remains unaffected by external fluctuations. This mental and emotional stability is the foundation for inner peace. Action step for you. Today, notice when you feel attached to something, an outcome, a desire, or an expectation. Try practicing the art of letting go and embracing impermanence. See how it feels to release the need for control and simply be at peace with what is. Section 6: Cultivating Compassion and Loving Kindness. May all beings be happy, may all beings be free from suffering. The Buddha. Compassion and loving kindness are at the heart of Buddhist teachings. They are not merely feelings of sympathy but active practices that involve extending goodwill and empathy toward others and ourselves. When practiced consistently, they transform the way we relate to ourselves, others, and the world. These practices are essential for building unshakable self-confidence because they foster deep connections, increase our emotional resilience, and help us develop the patience and humility needed to handle life's challenges. What are compassion and loving-kindness? Compassion is the ability to empathize with the suffering of others and a desire to alleviate that suffering. It is more than just feeling sorry for someone, it's the willingness to take action, whether through kind words, thoughtful gestures, or simply being present with someone in their time of need. Loving-kindness, or metta, is the cultivation of unconditional love for all beings. It is about wishing for the happiness and well-being of others, without expecting anything in return. Loving-kindness goes beyond mere affection or sentimentality, it is a deep, active wish for the happiness of others, even those we may not know personally or may have difficulties with. Why compassion and loving-kindness are vital for self-confidence. Many people mistakenly believe that self-confidence comes from external achievements or recognition. While accomplishments can boost our confidence temporarily, the true source of lasting self-confidence lies within our capacity for compassion and loving-kindness. When we practice compassion, we learn to approach others, and ourselves, with care and understanding. This shifts our focus away from perfectionism and self-criticism toward acceptance and self-love. As we develop a compassionate attitude, we become less concerned with judgment or approval from others, and more rooted in our own values and peace of mind. Loving-kindness, meanwhile, opens our hearts to the possibility of true connection. When we extend love toward others, we also develop a deeper love for ourselves. The more we nurture these qualities, the more secure we become in our own worth and our ability to navigate life with confidence. Practical Tip 9: Practice loving-kindness meditation. One of the most powerful ways to cultivate compassion and loving-kindness is through meditation. Loving-kindness meditation involves silently repeating phrases that express goodwill toward oneself and others. Over time, this practice softens the heart and increases our capacity for empathy. How to practice? 1. Find a quiet space. Sit comfortably in a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. 2. Focus on yourself. Begin by silently repeating the following phrase to yourself: May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I live with ease. 3. Extend loving-kindness to others. Gradually extend this loving-kindness to others. Start with loved ones, then to neutral people, and finally, to those with whom you may have difficulties. 4. End with the world. Finally, extend your loving-kindness to all beings everywhere, wishing them happiness, freedom from suffering, and peace. Why it works? Loving-kindness meditation rewires the brain to promote positive emotions and greater connection with others. It encourages a shift away from ego-based thinking and nurtures a sense of oneness with all living beings. Over time, this leads to greater self-compassion, stronger relationships, and unshakable self-confidence. Practical Tip 10: Actively practice compassion in daily life. It's easy to talk about compassion, but putting it into practice is what truly makes a difference. Compassion is not just about grand gestures but about small, everyday acts that show kindness to those around us. How to practice? 1. Be present for others. The next time someone shares a challenge with you, practice active listening. Resist the urge to give advice immediately, instead, listen with empathy and understanding. 2. Perform random acts of kindness. Look for small ways to show kindness to others throughout your day. It could be offering a smile to a stranger, holding the door open for someone, or offering a helping hand to a colleague. 3. Practice self-compassion. Be as kind to yourself as you would be to a dear friend. When you make a mistake, treat yourself with the same care and understanding you would offer to others. Why it works? Acts of compassion, no matter how small, help shift our focus from self-centeredness to a more expansive, interconnected view of the world. As we experience the positive effects of helping others, our own confidence grows. A story of compassion. An example of compassion comes from the story of Thich Nhat Hanh, a renowned Buddhist monk. Once, he was visiting a hospital in Vietnam, where he encountered a woman whose child was suffering. The mother was distraught, unable to ease her child's pain. Thich Nhat Hanh approached her with great kindness and simply sat with her in silence. He didn't offer advice, but his compassionate presence brought comfort to the woman. Through his quiet, loving presence, she found the strength to face the situation. This simple act of compassion reminded the mother that she was not alone. Thich Nhat Hanh's gesture of sitting with her was more healing than words could ever be. The takeaway: compassion and loving kindness are transformative practices that lead to inner peace and unshakable self-confidence. By cultivating these qualities, we move from a place of self-doubt and insecurity to one of empathy, connection, and peace. Action step for you. Start today by practicing loving-kindness meditation for just a few minutes. Extend goodwill first to yourself and then to others. Make it a habit to actively practice compassion in your daily interactions. By doing so, you'll begin to feel a deeper sense of inner peace and confidence. Section 7. Integrating Buddhist habits into daily life for lasting transformation. The mind is everything. What you think you become. The Buddha. Now that you've explored the core Buddhist habits to build unshakable self-confidence, the next step is integrating them into your daily life. Building a lasting transformation requires consistent effort, mindfulness, and patience. These habits are not something you do once and forget about. They need to become part of your daily routine, shaping how you think, act, and interact with the world around you. The importance of consistency. Transforming your life isn't an overnight process. Just like building muscle or learning a new skill, it takes time, practice, and dedication. The Buddha often spoke about the importance of persistence and steady effort. Change doesn't happen by merely knowing the right information, it happens by consistently applying the teachings to your life. Self-confidence is not a trait you either have or don't have. It is a skill, one that can be nurtured and developed over time. The more consistently you practice these Buddhist principles, the stronger your sense of self-confidence will become. How to integrate these habits into your routine. Here's a simple guide to integrating the Buddhist habits into your everyday life. 1. Start small. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. Begin by choosing 1 or 2 habits to focus on each week. For example, start with mindfulness during daily tasks or incorporate loving-kindness meditation in the morning. Slowly, as you gain comfort with these practices, you can add more. 2. Be present in every moment. One of the simplest ways to practice mindfulness is to be present in every moment, no matter how mundane. Whether you're eating, walking, working, or interacting with others, practice paying attention to the present moment. The more mindful you become, the more natural it will feel to live with awareness and clarity. 3. Track your progress. Tracking your progress helps to keep you motivated and encourages reflection. Consider journaling your experiences each day, how you practiced self-discipline, how you handled a difficult situation with equanimity, or how you cultivated compassion. Over time, you'll begin to notice the small shifts in your mindset and behavior. 4. Create reminders. To make these habits stick, use reminders throughout your day. This could be a note on your mirror reminding you to practice mindfulness, or setting an alarm for your meditation session. Visual reminders like a picture of a peaceful landscape or a meaningful quote can also serve as touchstones throughout the day. 5. Connect with a community. Buddhist practice is not meant to be a solitary journey. If possible, connect with a community of like-minded individuals who can support your growth. Whether it's joining a local meditation group, participating in an online community, or simply sharing your journey with a friend, having a support network helps keep you accountable and encourages further growth. Overcoming obstacles on the path to self-confidence. The path to building unshakable self-confidence is not always smooth. There will be obstacles, moments of self-doubt, setbacks, and challenges. But as with all Buddhist teachings, these obstacles are opportunities for growth. The Buddha taught that suffering is an inherent part of life, but how we respond to it determines whether we sink or rise. Here are a few ways to overcome common obstacles. Self-doubt. When self-doubt arises, remember that it is a natural human experience. Instead of fighting it, acknowledge it. Sit with the doubt and observe where it comes from. Often, self-doubt is rooted in fear. By practicing mindfulness, you can break the cycle of negative self-talk and return to a place of peace. Lack of motivation. Motivation can fluctuate, but discipline can keep you on track. When motivation wanes, remember why you started, focus on the benefits of the practice, not the immediate results. Trust that the cumulative effects of your actions will eventually lead to transformation. External challenges. Life will continue to present challenges, whether personal, professional, or otherwise. The key is learning to respond with equanimity. Practice taking a deep breath when challenges arise, and use the tools you've developed, mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom, to navigate difficulties with calm and clarity. The ripple effect of your practice. As you integrate these Buddhist habits into your life, you'll begin to notice a ripple effect, positive changes that extend beyond your inner world and into your relationships, career, and health. Building self-confidence doesn't just benefit you, it also has a positive impact on everyone around you. When you embody peace, mindfulness, and compassion, you inspire others to do the same. Your relationships become more harmonious, your actions more purposeful, and your life more fulfilling. You become a beacon of light for others who are on their own path of growth and self-discovery. A final reflection: the power of your mind. The Buddha's teachings remind us that our thoughts shape our reality. When we cultivate positive habits, such as mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom, we create a foundation for lasting self-confidence and personal transformation. This journey may be long, but it is worth every step. You are the master of your own mind. What you think, you become. By consistently practicing these Buddhist habits, you are building not only unshakable self-confidence but also a deeper connection to your true self, one that is free from doubt and rooted in peace. Action step for you. Make a commitment to practice at least one of these habits every day for the next week. Choose something small but impactful, like mindfulness during meals or journaling your reflections. At the end of the week, reflect on how you feel. What changes have you noticed in your self-confidence? What challenges did you face, and how did you overcome them? Section 8, Final Thoughts and Your Call to Action. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. The Buddha. As we reach the end of this journey through Buddhist teachings for building unshakable self-confidence, it's important to remember that transformation is a continual process. The habits we've explored are not just tools to practice, they are ways of being, deeply connected to the very essence of who we are. By embracing mindfulness, compassion, equanimity, and wisdom, you can create a life where your confidence isn't fragile or fleeting, but steadfast and grounded in your true self. The power of small changes. You don't need to radically change everything at once. As we discussed earlier, even the smallest of shifts can lead to powerful transformation over time. Each mindful moment, each act of kindness, each challenge faced with equanimity, these are the building blocks of lasting self-confidence. The beauty of Buddhist teachings is that they provide you with timeless wisdom to navigate life's ups and downs with grace. They allow you to move through the world not with fear, but with a quiet strength that comes from knowing who you truly are. Stay committed to the path. Building unshakable self-confidence requires consistent practice. In moments of doubt or when life gets tough, remember that every small step you take brings you closer to becoming the best version of yourself. It is through these moments of perseverance that you'll find true peace and self-assurance. The Buddha's teachings are not meant to be followed perfectly, but rather practiced with dedication and mindfulness. Life will throw challenges your way, but by staying committed to these habits, you'll learn to face them with resilience and confidence. Call to action: start today. The time to start is now. Take one small step today toward building your unshakable self-confidence. Choose a Buddhist habit that resonates most with you and begin to incorporate it into your life. Whether it's a brief meditation session, a moment of self-compassion, or a new way of approaching challenges, every step you take brings you closer to the confident, peaceful life you desire. Leave a comment, share in the comments below one habit you're committing to this week. How do you plan to integrate it into your life, and what impact do you hope it will have? Subscribe and stay connected. If you found value in this content, make sure to subscribe to Miraculous Dharma. We have many more lessons on Buddhist wisdom to share, helping you transform your life one step at a time. Join the community, connect with like-minded individuals who are on their own journey of personal growth. Join our discussions, share your experiences, and support one another. Remember, self-confidence isn't something you attain, it's something you cultivate. With these Buddhist habits, you are laying the foundation for a confident, peaceful, and purposeful life. A path of transformation with Miraculous Dharma. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey of self-discovery and transformation through the wisdom of Buddhism. At Miraculous Dharma, our mission is to bring you timeless teachings and practical tools that empower you to live a life of peace, joy, and unshakable confidence. Remember, each step you take in applying these teachings to your life is a step toward greater clarity, serenity, and personal growth. No matter where you are on your spiritual path, the wisdom of the Buddha is a guide that can help you navigate the challenges of daily life with grace and strength. If you found value in today's video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others who might benefit from this wisdom. We would love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to leave a comment below sharing your reflections, questions, or personal experiences with these practices. At Miraculous Dharma, we believe that every moment is an opportunity to grow, to be present, and to choose peace over chaos. Let's continue this journey together, one mindful step at a time. Thank you for being a part of this community. Until next time, may you find peace, confidence, and clarity in all that you do.